Hi guys, Teresa here. Thanks so much for jumping on to Healthy from the Inside Out. So we're so glad you're here. We're going to help you get a fresh start, a clean slate, flip the reboot button, and start afresh with a cleanse or with a new way of addressing your gut. And I thought this kind of fit in perfect with this 21-day challenge. So hopefully you will agree with me. If it's not something you're interested in at this point, then certainly it's information for the future. So it's planting seeds for action in the future. So this is a healthy start, fresh start. And I'm not sure if I want to, yeah, I'll hit the play button and see what happens. Okay, here we go. So this is that wellness lifestyle pyramid, which I absolutely love. I think this is fabulous. I think this is something they should be teaching in schools. So this is, I'm sure you've seen this before. So while there's many uncontrollable factors in your overall health, through good lifestyle habits and proactive healthcare, you can have significant influence over your physical well-being. So we've learned that, personal daily choices every day over time pay off in the long run. So with proper nutrition, exercise, rest, stress management, we're not going to explain those because we're pretty familiar with those. And those are things that are in our control. We have choices that we can make there. But there seems to be less concern and knowledge around minimizing toxic load. So that's what this is all about, is minimizing that toxic load. I think some people don't realize how important this little piece is. So we actually do manifest our good health from the inside out. Again, not everybody realizes that. And that is through proper functioning of your vital organs, minimizing toxin throughout our bodies. And that's controllable to a point. We can't control every toxic issue going on in our lives, in our society, but we can control a pretty good chunk of it. So I found this article from AARP. It was last month. And I ripped it out, and it's all about your gut health. So I just want to slide that in real quick. Because normally, once we put our food in, we kind of forget about it. We don't really pay attention to what's going on inside there. But this is what it says. What happens to that meal in the next 24 to 72 hours will have an enormous impact on your health. Subtle changes in gut health can have a powerful effect on how you look and feel. Research has linked, I tried to pronounce this word before I jumped on. Let's see if I can. Dysbiosis. That's an imbalance of gut bacteria. They have linked this imbalance of gut bacteria to more than 70 chronic illnesses or chronic diseases. That's huge, absolutely huge. And then it goes into what you can expect, but I'm not going to take your time on that. But I just thought that was very interesting. That was like a third-party article that was not doTERRA related, pretty much telling us we need to pay attention to our gut. So we're going to focus on toxic load here. So to understand the importance of minimizing toxic load, we must first define some foundational terms and to discuss our how our detoxification systems work within our body. That's where it gets really sciencey. So a toxin is any substance that causes stress to the body, which is a simplistic definition, which kind of surprises me. I always thought it was way more than that, but anything that causes excess stress to the body. So toxic load would be the volume of these substances that have been accumulated in the body at any given time. Okay, so toxic load is how much has been accumulated. Oh, I hope I can get this to work. I don't know if I did or not. Because my mouse, oh, there she is, good. My mouse doesn't work when I'm in this screen. So let's see, where was I? Hi, Marcia, welcome. Okay, so this toxic load burdens our body system and our vital organs. Again, it's not something we have an awareness around, or we might, but maybe we don't understand how we can address it. So toxins come from all over the place. Many we're not even aware of. We have environmental threats, we have chemicals, we have radiation. Those are the three most common. And technically, every substance that has this is a mouthful. Every substance that has a consistent chemical composition is a chemical. But the way we use the word chemical is we refer to it as a natural or synthetic thing that can stress the body. So that's typically how we look at it. Let's see, we have different examples of chemicals that we frequently come into contact with are ingredients in processed foods, like artificial sweeteners, flavor enhancers, some other toxins that we breathe in on a regular basis are automobile exhaust, cigarette smoke, solvents, plastics, pesticides, xenoestrogens, which are, I believe, substances that affect our hormones, and harsh cleaning products. So radiation is usually high energy particles that can negatively affect cellular structures and DNA. And that actually comes a lot from sunlight. And I love the sun. So that is a real common source of radiation. That's just a natural radiation. So our bodies are exposed to countless possible toxins every day, many which are unavoidable. It's just the nature of our times that we live in, but we can take many steps to minimize their effect on our health. That was a mouthful there. Okay, now why is this not going? There we go. So your body has a number of different pathways through which it directly is exposed to toxins, and several mechanisms that your body deals with these toxins and deals with the exposure. So the three most vulnerable pathways are the lungs, the digestive tract, and the skin. Okay, we are directly exposed to toxins through the food we eat, through the air we breathe, and of course, anything that touches our skin. So our bodies do have our own natural defense mechanisms to protect these different pathways, just such as for our nose and our throat, they're lined with mucous membranes to trap foreign particles. And the inside of our lungs have special immune cells that destroy any foreign agents that get past the mucous membranes. So our body does have ways of minimizing those toxins that are coming in. And of course, but we can't really control the air we breathe. Maybe inside your house with the air filter, you might be able to do that. But, we're breathing in this stuff all the time. We just don't realize it. So of course, we kind of know how to handle some of that with our essential oils and our cleaning products that we can make. So those are the three major ways of bringing in toxins. I don't want to get ahead of myself, so I'll stop right there. So to reduce our toxic load, we want to avoid toxic exposure, of course. That's the simplest way to do it. But again, in our day and age, we cannot do that. Well, I know there is a number or percentage how many more or how much more toxins we are exposed to this generation than previous generations. It's like a huge number. And I don't really have that in my mind, but it's kind of shocking. So we can use something as simple as our lemon oil. And we can use masks as a protective barrier, which we're doing now anyway. It's a way of life. We can use gloves when we're using cleaning products. We can properly ventilate, open windows when we're using things that we know of are toxic. So of course we know that we can use our essential oils as partners of prevention. I love that. Partners of prevention. So they've been demonstrated to positively affect our environment. Again, we all know that. And diffusing oils in the home or in the workplace are going to have a proactive way of helping to refresh and purify the air, of course, in a non-toxic way. And something as simple as washing our produce, our fruits and vegetables, with a little lemon oil and some water is a simple, effective way of reducing harmful contaminants that are on those fruits and vegetables. How many of you guys spray your fruits off with something? Yeah. It's so simple. I have a spray bottle right on my sink with some lemon. Sometimes there's grapefruit in there. Sometimes there's On Guard in there with some water, and I just spritz down my fruit before I eat it. I probably should let it soak a little bit longer than I do, but I do have it there. Very simple. So reducing the toxic load through our skin care, our hair care, our body care, our cleaning products. Again, we don't think about it that much until maybe it's introduced to us. And then we might start to think about, oh yeah, I do put that on my skin. And from our knowledge of essential oils, we understand how small the molecules are and how easily they pass through the skin. And I'm sure there's toxins that can do the same thing. They can just easily move through that skin and through our system in a very quick way. So if we can be more mindful of that, this is an easy way of reducing some of that toxic load. It's by using these clean, non-toxic products that have essential oils in them. And remember, our skin is like the largest organ in our body. So it's pretty huge. And so we really want to take care of what products we put on our skin on a regular basis. And of course, we know about On Guard being a non-toxic way of cleaning around our environment. So these things we're all pretty familiar with, but not everybody is. Like they might not know we have facial products. They might not realize we have shampoo and conditioner. So some people don't know, maybe you want to make sure you share that information with them. These are really impactful choices that we can make every day that are going to pay off significantly down the road by reducing our toxic load. Everybody good so far? Okay. And that's something I know I need to talk more about and emphasize those products, because we all love the oils, but it's not all about the oils. It's about these other awesome products as well. So our second area of focus in reducing toxic load is supporting defensive functions. So we're going to take a look at what that is like. Okay, so our body needs energy to conduct its own best efforts of protection and detoxification. It uses nutrients, to produce and create this capability. That's called our metabolism. So many of our toxins that we are exposed to today are fat soluble. So the liver in particular needs support, as its main function is to eliminate fat soluble toxins. So that's our liver's job. And a lot of toxins, we just said, are fat soluble, and our liver needs to deal with those. So another form of toxicity is the presence of free radicals causing oxidation, which if not handled, It causes damage and premature breakdown of cells. So we need antioxidants to help eliminate those free radicals. And we're not going to get into free radicals, but that can actually be a whole nother conversation all by itself. But we do want to be able to neutralize those because that contributes to inflammation. So at the root of all toxic conditions in our body is an inflamed and irritated cell membrane around each cell. So it's in our best interest to actually help maintain a healthy inflammatory response. So in my thoughts, I think everybody needs to address inflammation on a daily basis in some form, whatever you decide, however you decide to do that. But I'm sure we all have inflammation going on that we really don't realize. So how can we provide this kind of necessary support and nourishment so our defensive mechanisms are functioning properly? Well, I'm glad you asked. So we can create a healthy foundation by using our lifelong vitality products, which are packed with essential oils, vitamins, minerals, whole food extracts, antioxidants, fatty acids, and best of all, of course, essential oils. And these are vital to our health, and we have to consume everything that I just mentioned in adequate levels. So these products within this lifelong vitality pack are specifically designed to supplement the typical adult diet and correct deficiencies. Combined with a healthy diet, these products provide a sound foundation that supports both the structure and the healthy function of our body. So we may like to think that we eat really healthy, which many of us probably do, but I know for sure I am not 100% perfect. Like I had some chips this afternoon. I'm thinking like, why am I shoving these in my mouth? You know, so we all have those things that are our weaknesses, and just the fact that our soil is not as nutrient dense as it used to be, you know, the way our plants are grown, like there's so many factors involved in food nowadays. We're really not getting the highest quality food that our ancestors got, maybe just a few, generation or two ago. So this is just, a way of filling in those gaps. And we do have a vegan version of that. And of course, there's a money back guarantee on those. So why is Lifelong Vitality Pack better? And we lovingly refer to it as LLV. Well, with highly processed and nutrient deficient foods, as I just mentioned, that we consume, again, some days may be better than others. Most people have some type of nutrient deficiency going on. But you can try to eat healthier, or you can try and take a random supplement once in a while, but that's just not enough. So what makes this particular product better? Because you are what you eat. Everybody has heard that, which is true, but it's really, you are what you absorb. Okay, so you are what you eat, but you're really what you absorb down in that gut. So you're going to want to choose this Lifelong Vitality Pack because it's bioavailable. Okay, bioavailable. So when it's ingested, our body recognizes it, absorbs what's in it, and utilizes it efficiently in our bodies. So even if you're taking like a super vitamin that you buy out there in the market, if it's not bioavailable, then it's basically useless. We've all heard of peeing out, our vitamins. Everybody's heard about expensive pee. So this particular set of supplements are chelated, that ensures increased absorption and bioavailability. Okay, and I have learned about that in the past. That's really, really important. So it's full spectrum, which means our ingredients are exactly as nature provides them. so that we can get optimal health from them. You'll notice they're not heat compressed. Some supplements are that really hard, dense, like a rock type of a supplement. These are not like that. They're like in a soft gel and they're like a ground food substance. So that's visually, that's just a big difference. So this is, let's see if I can say this. It has a glycoprotein matrix, that is a patented technology for bonding key nutrients to healthy bacteria normally found in the gut. Don't ask me to explain that because I won't be able to. So we just have to know that this helps our body recognize the nutrients more readily when they're digested. So our body is going to be able to recognize these supplements, use them more efficiently, and extract the nutrients from them a lot more efficiently than previous, other supplements out there. And just as a heads up, and I don't know if this comes up or not, but doTERRA doesn't say this out there, but depending on the country where these LLV supplements are being sold, they change the formulation for the population in different parts of the world. So that's going to be because of the way their diet is, what they're getting from their food. So they tweak the formula for the population in different parts of the world. I find when I heard that, I was very, very impressed with that. I mean, they don't advertise that, but they're doing it behind the scenes to better serve their customers. And we don't really even realize that. So to me, that was telling me more about the character of doTERRA. So here's some benefits and customer testimonials. And I'm not going to read all of those. You can go ahead and look at those. And I'm going to ask you guys a question. Are you able to read those, or is it covered up with you guys? Because my version is covered up with you.
We can see them just fine.
Okay, good. That's the important thing. So these are just a few testimonials, and I have heard testimonial after testimonial of people who feel more energy. They have less aches and pains. They're sleeping better. Even their oils work better once they start on these lifelong vitality packs. And you can see down the left column some of the benefits. I mean, there is just a ton of benefits. I mean, I've heard hours of people talking about each one of these products. There's just so much packed into them. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move on. Unless you guys need me to leave that slide up there a little bit more. Can I go ahead and move forward?
Yes.
Okay, so we got number 3 here. Support elimination functions. We all know that you need healthy elimination to be healthy. It's not a topic we like to talk about. It's uncomfortable, but it is an important part of our healthy functioning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's managing exposure by optimizing elimination. So we're reducing our toxic load by making sure we're eliminating properly. So we do have a complex system of detoxification, complete with organs and processes that allow elimination of any toxins that enter into our body. We know the liver, the kidneys, and the colon are, really involved in that natural detoxification process. Our skin is part of that. Our lungs are part of that. Our GI tract is part of that. So it's important to, give some love into all of these different organs. I know I have a liver blend I've been using for quite a while, like a year, I call it the Love My Liver blend. And I just roll that on my liver every night. Okay, so here's our elimination pathway we are referring to. Okay, so this is the GI tract. We have primary and secondary chimneys. So a chimney is a way of releasing toxins. Okay, there's different chimneys, which is like a chimney releases smoke from a fireplace. That's a toxin produced by the fire that has to go out some way, so it goes out through the chimney. So that's why they call them chimneys. So we have primary and secondary chimneys that moves waste out of our body. So sometimes the primary chimneys have been neglected. And so over time, they're either over functioning and trying really, really hard to eliminate the toxins, faster than they probably should be, or sometimes they're under functioning. So they're not able to eliminate in an efficient way. That's when the secondary chimneys kick in. Okay, so if the three primary ones, I don't know if there was three or not, are not working efficiently, then the secondary chimneys come into play. Oh, two right there. Okay, so the secondary may be some that we don't think about. So let's see, what are the secondary? The skin, of course, is sometimes referred to as the third kidney. That's something I did not know. And we call it the sympathetic chimney, and it's often moving waste that was really intended to be eliminated elsewhere. So if something is erupting through your skin, such as acne or a rash or something, sometimes that's because it's acting as a secondary chimney, trying to give off some toxins because the other pathways are not working properly. Or maybe the toxic load is so intense that those primary chimneys are not able to keep up. So it has to give off through those, the skin is a secondary chimney. So if something's erupting on the skin, it might be a good idea to kind of explore what's going on in the GI tract. And then of course your respiratory system is another secondary chimney. Okay, so here we got our chimney sweep, cleaning out our chimneys. It would be great if it was that easy, huh? So our first focus is to ensure that we have proper flow of both the intestinal and the urinary tracts, so that, that burden is not being shifted to those secondary chimneys. Okay, so what's the best way we can do that? We have products for that. So Terrazyme and Zendocrine are both really good detoxifiers, especially that Zendocrine. It's actually called the detoxifying complex for a reason. So they actually are good partners, and we're going to take a look at each one of these. They're going to help your primary chimneys in getting their job done. So in the GI tract, the main function of it is to metabolize the food we eat and excrete waste products. It also plays a major role in absorption, which we were talking about with the LLV. LLV is bioavailable so that it's absorbed efficiently in the intestines. So unfortunately for many people, this system tends to be experiencing less than optimal functions. I know people like that, and I know everybody knows people like that. So the body must be able to distinguish between usable substances and harmful substances. So it has to be able to tell the difference between those two. And to be able to tell that differentiation, the GI tract serves as a selective barrier that strictly regulates absorption, and prevents toxins from entering the blood and the lymph systems. To me, that gives it some intelligence. It is intelligently selecting for us what goes where. So they're the main site, the intestines are the main site of absorption, vitamins, minerals, fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. They are absorbed in the small intestine. The large intestine is responsible for absorbing excess water, or excuse me, excess water from waste products and handling indigestible substances such as fiber. So it sounds like the main work is taking place in the small intestines, and in the large intestines is like the cleanup crew and getting it ready to get moved out of the body. So to maximize absorption, the intestinal walls are lined with little hair-like projections that dramatically increase the surface area that can do that absorbing. So it's not just like smooth, it's got these little hairs in there. They're not really hairs, but finger-like projections that are increasing the surface area that are going to be able to absorb more of the nutrients that it needs. And we've all heard this before. If the intestines were laid out flat, they would be equivalent to that of a tennis court. So I know we've all heard that, how huge they are, all stuffed into our little abdomen area there. So that's a lot of surface area we want to keep healthy. So here's the GI tract part 2. So when foods and nutrients are absorbed, they pass through the walls of the digestive system, directly enter the bloodstream for systematic delivery throughout the body. So they progressively get down, break them down smaller and smaller so that they can be moved through the body. So it's important for our intestinal walls to be both efficient yet selective in that absorption process. Again, to me, that's very intelligent, a very intelligent process going on there. So this allows the body to absorb the nutrients it needs for health while preventing toxins from entering the body. So we're going to mention those epithelial cells real quick. They are the selective barrier right there, the one in the middle, that allows only certain substances to pass into circulation. So those are where it all comes to the wire there. Covering the walls of the intestines are millions of tiny hair-like structures called villi that extend into the intestinal tube. And even smaller are the microvilli. So I say everything's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So on the villi are the microvilli. So all of 3 of these dramatically increase the surface area available for absorption. Wow. And give the intestines extraordinarily efficient yet highly selective absorption capabilities. Yeah, I didn't realize there was villi on top of villi there, Yeah. So it gives you new respect for your GI tract. I don't know about you, but I'm thinking like, oh, wow. I got to give me some more love into my GI tract. Any questions about all that? Was very intense. Are you guys still good?
Very informative.
It's very informative, and it is a mouthful and it's a lot to wrap your head around.
It sure is.
We'll have to study it later too.
Very interesting stuff. It's one of those things where it's interesting when you're hearing about it, but if you try to explain it to somebody, you won't be able to. So here's where our Terrazyme comes in. So it has significant benefits to the GI tract. this, Terrazyme digestive enzyme complex. It's got active whole food enzymes and mineral cofactors that are often deficient when we cook our food. There's supposed to be enzymes in every bit of food that we eat. Like there's naturally occurring enzymes in those foods, but we cook them and we have processed foods and we have preservatives in our foods. And so those natural digestive enzymes are no longer there or they've been minimized. So in Terrazyme, you're adding digestive enzymes to your intestinal tract to aid in that digestion and support the overall health of your GI tract. So Terrazyme is adding in those digestive enzymes that we're not getting from the food we eat. And I know over time, as we age, we lose more and more of our own digestive enzymes that are, within our own body. I know we have some that we make in our body. I mean, don't quote me on that but if I remember correctly, we do make some, but the bulk of it comes from the food itself in optimal, ideal situations, which we don't have going on right now in our day and age. And yeah, I've been taking Terrazyme for several years now, and I'm really trying to be consistent about it. And years ago, before doTERRA, I read a whole book on digestive enzymes, and it's pretty fascinating stuff. So what are they? They're special substances that help catalyze biochemical reactions in the body. That's another mouthful. So they are critical or crucial players in the physiological processes such as metabolism and detoxification. Fresh raw foods contain naturally the right amount of enzymes for proper digestion. So if you can get raw food that's organic and clean, then they're probably going to have the right digestive enzymes in them already. But of course, I just said cooked food, processed food, we kind of eliminate that during all those processes. And then we have pasteurization, sterilization, radiation, preservation, we got freezing, we got microwaving. So all of those processes can render our food enzymes inactive or alter their structure so that they are useless once they're in our body. So again, that's just modern society. Unless you're going to do a dramatic dietary change, what you're eating all, raw foods every single day at every single meal that you're growing yourself, then you might get the right amount of enzymes naturally. But for the bulk of us, we're not doing that. at least from what I can see. So food processing, all of those processes we talked about, can also remove important vitamins and mineral cofactors. So that's why some of those are in the Terrazyme here. So we can, again, increase the amount of fresh raw foods in our diets. This is interesting. Some experts would recommend that we include at least 60% of our food coming from fresh raw foods. That's a lot. So using a whole food supplement with the enzymes, plant-based enzymes like Terrazyme, is just a convenient way of guaranteeing that we have a sufficient amount of enzymes in our diet. Just easy peasy. And if you're getting the Lifelong Vitality Pack, this is part of customizing your kit, and you can get this for $20. Like it's way cheaper than if you bought it as a standalone product. So this is part of the 30-day cleanse. there's a part where you're taking Terrazyme with every meal. And during that cleanse, you begin the first 10 days, like they break it into phases. So the first 10 days prior to anything else is getting the GI tract cleansed and cleared and allow that chimney, our primary chimneys to function properly. So the recommendation, and this is part of that beginning of the cleanse, it is recommended that you take 1 to 3 capsules with meals every day, which that's sometimes a hard commitment, especially if you're out and about. I know I don't always get my Terrazyme taken with every meal, but it's a goal to work towards. And you can also take it on an empty stomach to kind of get rid of old waste that might be sitting in your gut. And this is kind of gross, but the average American has 10 to 20 pounds of impacted fecal material in their bodies. That's a lot. So you could drop 10 to 20 pounds just by getting rid of all that fecal matter in your GI tract. Wouldn't that be nice?
Mm-hmm.
So Terrazyme is a really good first step in the cleansing process. Okay, there's Arlene trying to get back in. Let's see if I can get her in. I don't know if I got her back in or not. Oh, there she is. Good. So let's see what we got going next. There we go. Some more pathways of elimination. We're going to talk about these 3 organs. So these are the 3 organs that are part of our elimination process. We want to give these some love in. That's going to help us really keep our detoxification functioning, pretty efficiently, keeping our body clear of toxins. So the liver is the metabolic powerhouse responsible for processing fats, proteins, carbohydrates, and other nutrients into forms that are easier to use by the rest of the body. So the liver is breaking those things down so that our body can use some of those. This organ plays a key role in detoxifying the body of drugs or toxins. So after it is taken care of in the liver, any waste products must be eliminated. So the solid waste is removed through the colon. We know how that comes out. While let me see if I can say this right. Nitrogenous waste is eliminated through the kidneys. So that's obviously liquid waste. And the liver does not have its own outside chimney. So it has to depend on the 2 primary chimneys. So there's no other way for the liver to eliminate things. There's no secondary chimney for the liver. It can only go through these 2 ways, the kidney or the colon. So if they can't partner sufficiently with the liver, then it has to find additional exit points for its waste products, namely the skin. So there's another thing to explore. If you're having skin eruptions, maybe looking at the liver is another thing to do. See if your liver is functioning properly. Okay, so that we want to love our liver. And there's like hundreds of functions that the liver does. I know there's a really high number, like it's in the hundreds that the liver does. And again, I wish I had that information in my memory, but I do not. But once you learn about your liver, you will love your liver a lot because it is a very high functioning, very important organ for us. So Zenderkin, this is where Zenderkin comes into play. It will help your liver. It's going to give you love to your liver. So it is called the detoxification complex. It's a proprietary blend of whole food extracts in a patented enzyme delivery system another mouthful, that supports healthy cleansing and filtering functions of the liver, the kidney, the colon, the lungs, and the skin. So this zendocrine helps those chimney pathways. Helps the primary and the secondary. So we have to be careful because there's different versions of zendocrine. Just so you know, when you go to get zendocrine and order zendocrine, there's a couple different versions of it. So just be aware of that. There's the enzyme, there's the essential oil blend. So it comes in the regular 15 mil. There's this version, and then there's the straight up version in the supplement. So this complex is more involved than the other two products. So just be aware of that. You want to make sure you're grabbing the correct product. Okay. Let's see. One of the primary functions of these vital organs is to act as a protective filter. Did I? Yeah, I'm still on the same slide. The largest organ, of course, is the skin, which acts as a defensive barrier, and it's a gatekeeper. So the skin is a gatekeeper that keeps bad things out and good things in. The lungs help filter the air we breathe of particulates and pollutants. And the gastrointestinal tract, the GI tract, from the stomach to the colon, also performs significant cleansing and filtering of toxins as they enter our body through the food we eat. Okay, this is going to be a mouthful here, so bear with me. So if toxins make it past those organs, those three organs, which is our first line of defense, other organs such as the kidneys and the liver have to do their own filtering process. So if it gets past the first layer of defense, it's got to try to be stopped by the second layer of defense. So the body's filtering and waste management system is quite capable of handling a certain amount of exposure to toxins. Okay, so it can handle a certain amount. But in our modern world, you know, there's so much going on around us, so many harmful things, so much of our food that's not is, you know, the most optimal for us. The body's filtering system can become challenged. So probably many of us have challenges going on in our filtering system that we're probably not aware of. So healthy organs have the capacity to meet this challenge under normal conditions. But again, they may not all be functioning properly. Our chimneys may not be functioning properly. So our toxins are not being eliminated as they should because our body can't keep up. So again, it begins just by limiting that toxic exposure. So we already talked about a little bit of that. We'll talk more about that, I believe. So things we touch, things we breathe, the type of food coming in, we can control all that and try to do a little bit better job in our choices. You know, organics are going to help diminish our exposure to pesticides and other harmful, you know, chemicals. Hydrating, just the process of hydrating and drinking enough water with good water is essential for our healthy function of our cleansing organs. So just the matter of drinking enough water. I know that's something I struggle with. I think I'm doing good. And then by the end of the day, I'm like, oh, I didn't drink enough water. So water is a simple but huge layer to all this. Supplementing our healthy diets with functional nutrients that provide targeted support for those specific toxins can help us maintain, you know, our healthy cleansing and filtering functions. So again, that's where this zendocrine comes into play. It's formulated to help support healthy cleansing and filtering functions of the liver, the kidney, the colons. Why do I keep saying kidney? The kidneys, the colon, the lungs, and the skin. So there's whole food botanical extract in there that supports our organs' capacities to provide protective cleansing and filtering functions. Let's see. So I don't know what this means, but it's packaged in an SLS-free vegetable capsule. Does anybody know what that is? SLS free. Yep, I don't know what that is. So we shall move on. And Zendocrine, it's not something you have to do all the time. I know when I used my Itovy on myself for a while there, Zendocrine was something that came up on a regular basis. And so I just started incorporating a few drops of Zendocrine in my water on a regular basis. You know, that was just my choice. So the Zendocrine complexes, if you choose to use it, you know, every other month or just during a cleanse, you know, you can certainly do that. It's not something you have to have every single day all the time, although that could be your choice to do that. So your liver is the king of detoxification. When it comes to detoxification, the liver is king because it participates in so many metabolic and detoxification pathways. It's important to keep this organ healthy. So we're going to show you lots of different ways of doing that. And of course, Zendocrine is a big part of that. So this is the other supplement that I was telling you about. So this is in a brown bottle. The complex is in a white bottle. That's kind of a good way of telling the difference. Okay, so this is all the essential oils in the Zendocrine soft gels. It supports our natural detoxification system with all of these oils. Helps cleanse our body of toxins and free radicals that can slow down our body systems and allow us to feel heavy and weighted down. I don't know if I want to go into all of these oils, but I do want you to know that rosemary supports a healthy liver function. Juniper berry supports healthy kidney function. And cilantro is just a good all-around detoxifier. So these are all really good oils for detoxification. So this is GX Assist. This is part of the 10-day, part of the cleanse, the 30-day cleanse, but you only use it for 10 days. So this is really going to clean you out. So there's oils in there, as you can see, and it has some kind of acid. I'm not going to say it. Starts with a C. Caprylic, I don't know, acid to support a healthy digestive tract by creating an unfriendly environment for potential threats that can disrupt digestive immunities and cause digestive upset. So GX Assist is not something you want to use all the time. You just use it for a short period of time and then come back around to it at some point in the future. So this is not anything that needs to be used regularly. And it's very gentle. It's not going to be where you're going to be purging all the time in the bathroom, just so you know. But it is a way of getting rid of a lot of stuff in your GI tract before we start introducing probiotics. Okay, so it's a really good cleanse, get everything out, detox in a really intense way, but that's not a good word because it said it's a gentle thing. But in a really, I don't know what word I can use, but a really good way so that you can start bringing in new probiotics to start repopulating your system, you know, with good stuff and like get a restart and a reboot. So when your digestive system is not functioning at its best, there can be negative effects on every other function of the body. So the combination of all these oils helps cleanse the digestive system, which helps all other body organs function properly at their maximal potential. It improves microbial balance. We want a good balance of microbes in our gut. I know we don't think about it, but we do have a lot of microbes going on in our gut that are good for us, and we want to keep that balance healthy. It helps purify and cleanse our digestive system. It's like a maintenance program type of a thing. So it's just something for maintenance. And you're supposed to take 1 to 3 soft gels per day with meals for 10 days. I learned that I can only take 1. So I just was taking 1 per day in the morning. If you'd prefer to take 1 at night, that's fine. But I would definitely recommend starting with 1. And if you feel you want to up it to 2, then do that after a couple of days. But I wouldn't start right with 3 soft gels off the bat. Like I said, it's not a harsh cleanse, but for me, it was just a little bit too much. How's everybody doing? Okay. I told you this was going to be a lot.
Okay.
Okay, we're coming to the end. We don't have too much more to do. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm trying to even eliminate some things here. So we're gonna, talk a little bit more about the GI tract. That's where we metabolize food. That's where we excrete waste products. We already talked about that. But people sometimes don't realize how important a healthy GI tract is for our immune system, our immune functioning. So 70% of our body's immune system is happening in the gut. I've even heard it up to 80%. So depending on who you're talking to, that percentage could be even higher. So, we have to be able to distinguish between usable substances, remember, and harmful substances. And we just learned about differentiation going on in the intestines. We just learned about that. And we know that we just learned about that selective barrier that's regulating absorption and preventing toxins. Okay, we already talked about that. So within the stomach is gastric acid. Okay, it's just a digestive fluid that actually contains hydrochloric acid, and it's highly acidic. And this is interesting, that pH number is comparable to the acidity of battery acid. Wow. That's pretty acidic. So this gastric,
My goodness.
pardon?
My goodness.
I know. Wow. So this is important for our immune system. So that gastric acid is part of that immune system that we need to pay attention to. It's so powerful that it's capable of killing most toxic microbes that may have entered our digestive tract. So it actually kills off most of the bad stuff that we don't want in there. And if something can't be neutralized by that acid, then GX Assist can help that process along. Okay, so GX Assist, again, is just something you would do once in a while. Oh, one person went down. It was too much for them. Okay, so let's talk about the good microflora. We want good stuff in there. So once we get rid of the bad stuff and we want to rebalance, we're going to reintroduce the good stuff, our good microflora, our good bacteria. And we're going to do that with probiotics. So we have trillions of bacteria in our gut, and it's called the microflora. So when you hear people are talking about the microflora, that is a combination of all the good bacteria that we want growing in there. It's like our garden that we want to attend to and keep healthy. So most of that bacteria resides in the large intestine. but there's some, throughout the entire digestive tract. Let's see. So this bacteria assists in digestion, prevents the growth of harmful microbes, produce essential nutrients, break down indigestible substances, and participate in immune messaging. So it's crucial that the gastrointestinal tract be adequately populated with friendly strains of bacteria. We want the good stuff in there. And of course, our lifestyle and everything we've already talked about kind of threatens the integrity and the balance of that microflora. So another reason to minimize toxic exposure, because we want to maintain that garden of microflora in a good way. And we're not going to, you can see some of the reasons that it would be thrown off here. I'm not going to talk about that. We just need to know that we need to maintain that in a positive way. So if it becomes compromised, it can lead to many undesirable health consequences. So if your microflora is compromised, these are some things, some symptoms you can experience. Okay, I'm just going to let you read that. And again, we don't think about this stuff. We just figure, that's the way it is. But look at fatigue can be a reason or a consequence of that unbalanced microflora. Who knew? So PB Assist is something that's going to introduce the good bacteria and help with that microflora keeping healthy and well balanced. So it's just helping change the terrain in there, just helping change that garden and keep it, healthy, or bring in more health to that garden. So we have Terrazyme that is, sometimes people get these products confused, but we have digestive enzymes that help break down food. We have Zendrokin. Did I say that right? Zendrokin. And GX Assist to help remove toxins. Then we have PB Assist that are going to help. We want that to come in, and that's like the cavalry coming in over the hilltop to save the day. It replenishes and reestablishes the healthy microflora. Okay, so that's going to improve our health, our gut health. So it's a blend of both pre and probiotics. This is important because I don't know about other probiotics out there on the market, but you're going to want to watch for specific things in others out there that are not doTERRA. This is a blend of pre and pro. So probiotics are living organisms. They're living, they're alive. We want them alive. We don't want them dead. Prebiotics are indigestible substances such as fiber and some other really long word that foster an optimal environment for microbial colonization and stimulates the microbial activity in the gut. Okay, so we got two things going on here. We got the pre, we got the pro. So it's double layered. If you ever saw one, they're beautiful to look at. They're like green inside, but they got this clear shell type thing on the outside. So they're really kind of pretty. It kind of like the turmeric is very pretty as well because it's got a similar technology going on. Got something on the inside and something on the outside for a very specific reason. So that is so that it's like a time released process going on. Okay, so the active live probiotics are in the middle. You can see with that black area there, that's the live living stuff that we want to get right where it needs to be in the intestines. Okay. The outer area, the membrane or whatever you call it in the outer area, is the part that is going to help the inner part get to where it needs to be. Okay, so it's going to help. So the prebiotic is helping get the probiotics to release right where they need to be. So they have maximum benefit and they're not eaten up by that harsh battery acid that's in our stomach. So the prebiotic helps get it past that acidic fluid into the intestines where it can release those living probiotics that are going to help nourish our microflora. So these work together in this particular supplement. Okay, so these are some of the probiotics that are in PB Assist. I know it's very important when you're buying a probiotic, you want to know what's in there. These are the different strains of bacteria that are carefully selected so that they benefit both the upper and the lower intestines. So let's see if I can say these names okay. The lactobacillus, that first upper GI one with the L, that promotes healthy colonization and function in the small intestines. The one that's for the lower GI that starts with a B, that promotes healthy digestive and immune function in the large intestines. And we have 5 billion CFUs, which is a really important unit to understand. It's called the colony forming units. We have 5 billions of 6 active strains of both of those that are included in this product. And again, it's like a time release action. It gets through where it needs to go past the stomach acid and all that stuff that's trying to destroy it. It gets to where it needs to be in the intestines. And then that probiotic is available to release these living bacteria that are listed here. And I've heard that some probiotics out on the market, by the time they get where they need to be, they're already dead because, you know, they didn't make it past the stomach acid. Oh boy, this is a whole nother mouthful. Let's see. So there's indigestible fibers that are naturally found in fruits and vegetables that help promote the growth of friendly bacteria while discouraging the growth of harmful organisms. I'm trying to shorten this up for you. So these FOSs, which is that really long word up at the top, supports healthy absorption of calcium and magnesium, which supports healthy blood glucose and cholesterol levels, and can suppress harmful enzyme activity in the bowels. Okay. I'm not going to get into too much more than that because there's a little bit more that is really hard to wrap your head around. But PB Assist can be used on a daily basis, you know, as part of a routine loving on your gut. And you can use it again as part of that 30-day cleanse to help restore optimal levels of gut flora for the long-term results. So the dosage is 1 to 2 capsules per day, morning and or night, to get it to do what it needs to do. So you can do 1 to 2 capsules in the morning and or at night. Now, during this 21-day challenge, I'm noticing they're trying to create a good, healthy set of habits that you're doing every day. They're suggesting PB Assist be taken at night. I've seen the suggestion being that you take it in the morning on an empty stomach. So I just take one. I just take one a day, and I do take it in the morning before I eat breakfast, like quite a while before I eat breakfast. So you have to make your own decision when you're going to take that. And if you're going to take more than one. I do believe if you're sick, if you got something going on, it might be good to up your PB assist so that you have more of an introduction, more of that good flora, good bacteria flowing into your microflora to kind of help get your health back to optimal level. Take a deep breath. Told you this is going to be intense. So we're at past an hour. Okay, we're coming down to the final few minutes. So just hang in there a little bit longer. So DDR prime is a whole nother cellular complex. And this is all part of that cleanse. This is not something you have to do all year long, but the whole cleanse is good to do a couple times a year. I try to do it once or twice a year. And I try to accumulate my products a month or two in advance so that they're ready for me to go the first of the month that I choose to do it. So if I'm going to do it in March, then I'm going to spend January and February ordering my products and getting them ready so I can start right on day one of that month. Now, don't quote me on this, but there may be a prepared kit already ready that you can buy all in one fell swoop with all these products. I don't do it that way because I try to break them up over a couple of months, so I'm not paying that much. But I believe you can certainly buy all the products together for that cleanse. And if somebody knows that for sure, let me know. So let's see, DDR prime, that's part of this cleanse process, helps support cellular health, cellular function, and cellular renewal. Okay, and is there the oils listed there? No. It has frankincense, wild orange, litsea, thyme, clove, summer savory, Naoli, and lemongrass in there. And these are all oils that promote a healthy response to free radicals. So they're all able to help with free radicals and support our cellular health. And you're supposed to take, 2 soft gels daily with a meal, whichever meal you decide to take them at. Now this, there's the oils right there. I'm sorry. And again, I'm not going to get into every single oil. We know that frankincense is great for cellular health. Litsea is good for cognitive function. Thyme is just good for cellular health and immunity. We know that clove is a powerful antioxidant, as well as summer savory is also antioxidant. Naoli is for immune support. Lemongrass helps prevent or protects, I should say, environmental threats. So good oils in that DDR prime. This is another one of those products that come in different versions. There is a DDR prime in the 15 ml essential oil bottle as well. And you can drop that right in your water, or you can put it in a roller bottle. So I actually have a roller bottle that I made, a 10 ml roller bottle that I don't even know how many drops I put in there. With some fractionated coconut oil, I actually roll this on my feet every day, just as part of that detoxing, ongoing detoxing process. That's just my choice. You can decide for yourself, how you want to handle that. Slim and Sassy is another product to think about. This is part of the cleanse. This is something you can incorporate into your daily life if you so choose. I know I keep it right by my water where I hydrate and have my citrus oils. I keep Slim and Sassy there. I don't use it all the time, but it's one of my options. It's great for cleansing, helps with your metabolic functioning, which is all the processes going on in your body that help you stay alive that we don't pay attention to. Just like what I just talked about with the GI tract. And, those things are taking place and we don't have to think about them. Our body is doing that for us. So that's all part of the metabolic functioning of our body. So Slim and Sassy helps with that. Of course, there's essential oils in there. It can help minimize or manage hunger cravings when taken with water. Sometimes if I really don't want to eat, I'll drop a drop or two of Slim and Sassy on the back of my hand and just lick it. You don't want to eat anything after that, after getting that on your tongue. So that's a good way of keeping you from eating. Oh boy. Let's see. So it can help you reach your weight management goal. Again, you can put it in any type of liquid and drink it. You can consume it with water before meals to control appetite and overeating. Just a few drops. Jill can attest to putting too many drops in your water, because if you look on it, it might say like 5 or 6 drops. No, 1 or 2 drops is more than enough, because it's pretty intense tasting. It helps manage your toxic load that's stored in your fat tissue and released during weight loss. So it's going to help release toxins that are in your fat tissue. Fat holds on to toxins. You can definitely research that. Your fat tissue holds on to toxins. And so we want to release that. So those citrus oils in Slim and Sassy, because there's a lot of citrus in there, are part of that detoxification. And it's a really easy way of detoxifying, just by putting some in your water. So we already said many toxins are fat soluble, and the body has to deal with these toxins. And we know that the liver is part of that. We've already talked about that. So we already mentioned that our body can only handle so much in the toxic load. So our body, if we do have a lot of toxins, it has to deal with them in some way. And they need to be removed from the fatty tissue in order to protect our organs. So it's just like a protective measure when our body wraps toxins in our fat tissues. It's just a way of preventing those toxins from harming our body. So fat stores toxin. That's just a good thing to know. So sometimes it's difficult to lose fat because of the role it plays in the immune function. And this doesn't go into that too much, but it does make sense for your fat cells to do a detox too, is what it says. And it really doesn't get much into that, but it's just something to have an awareness around. Whew, we're finally to the end, and you guys stuck through it. Thank you so much. Might have to give you guys a gift just for sticking this out. So here's all the, now see, there's the kit right there. There's the kit you can purchase for $245. Gives you everything you need for the cleanse. Now, if you're already on the LLV, then, that's just going to be something you're purchasing every month. That's why I try to get these products over time, because I'm already doing the LLV. The GX Assist, I just keep because I only use it for 10 days. Excuse me. So I typically have some for a couple of cleanses. So I just keep my GX Assist and use it for the next time I do the cleanse. The PB Assist I use all the time anyway, so I usually have that. The Terrazyme I usually have all the time anyway, because I'm using that on a regular basis. I always have lemon oil. So if you have these products, then just purchase the ones you need. Again, a month or two ahead of time. Mark in your calendar. This is the day I'm going to start. This is the first of the month. And we actually have a chart that you can print off, which I do every time I do the cleanse. And every day I check off what I've done. It tells you exactly what to use at what point in time. And it's really user friendly. So if you need these products, then certainly save some money and get them all at the same time. But if you already have them, then just purchase what you need until you have them all. Let's see. Whew, I'm like parched after saying all that stuff. And I so applaud you guys for sticking through this because that was very, very meaty, very interesting, but very meaty and not something that everybody knows. So count yourselves lucky that you know that, you have an awareness around it, and maybe, this has planted some seeds and some things that you might want to incorporate into your life, this year at some point. So with that being said, I'm going to take a swig of water and see if you guys have any comments or questions and see if I can answer them. But I'm hoping you guys can see that, yes, healthy from the inside out is something to be aware of.
Can you go ahead and get the slideshow off there so we can see each other?
Oh, yes, I can. Thank
Okay, and I don't know if you want to stop the recording or if you
I'm gonna
guys
stop
have.
the recording, so let me find that. Maybe. And oh, there it is. So everybody that stayed and remained for this entire show, this entire video, congratulations. Leave me a comment that you watched the whole thing and let me know so that I can reward you in some way. Okay, thank you, my friends.